Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy XIV. In this video, as you can see, I'm a level 52 Blacksmith. So, we are going to be going through the 1 through 50 job quests for, of course, Blacksmith. As per usual, it's going to follow the same kind of flow as the last several crafters have, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in just a little bit. Alright, let's start our journey as a blacksmith. Blacksmith is actually in the same area as armorer, but we're not here for armorer right now. We're here for blacksmith. So, Randolph, unless you're blind and deaf, I presume you've wandered into our forge of your own accord, drawn by the siren song of our smithy's hammers, no doubt. In these hollowed halls, Limsa's finest pound metal into all manner of tools and weapons. And when I say Limsa's, I mean the whole bloody realms. Make no mistake, you need more than a big arm to join our ranks. But if you've got iron in your veins and the builder's blessing, speak up. Yes. You're not short on confidence, but do you truly know what you're getting yourself into, lass? Ours is a trade born in blood and brine. For as long as pirates have sailed the Rotano, smithies have forged their weapons and fitted about their ships from keel to cannon. Of course, till sea swallows all ain't just an idle saying. Brine will eat through even the stoutest iron given time, and our forebears long struggled to forge more rust-resistant alloys. Lucky for us, the smithies of El were determined bunch and clever too. So when they learned that the kobolds knew something of advanced metallurgy, the smithies set out to make it their own. Thanks to the kobolds' wisdom, which they generously gifted us with many of their merest hints of pirately prompting, Limson Smithin came on leaps and bounds. 'Twasn't long ago before the Gridanians and Uldan started eyeing our knowledge like we did the kobolds, though. And so some 150 years ago, two particular forward-thinking men named Theor Naldic and Bryce Vimeli had the bright idea of establishing a respectable business. Being fair-minded fellows, they'd sell their wares to anyone who had the coin, pirates and foreigners included. And then when folks weren't inclined to pay, they made sure to remind them that we hadn't completely forsaken our pirate ways. Times have changed, though, we're a wee bit more willing to share our wisdom these days. The company's been running the Blacksmiths and Armorers Guild for years now. They're welcoming you so with the necessary talent and will to work. As to whether you've got enough of either, well, that's for the Forge Master to decide. Speak to me when you're ready to present yourself to him. So what'll it be? Reckon you've got what it takes to train the best with the gods damned blacksmiths in the round? Ha! That's the spirit. If you take it any longer to decide, I've told you to bugger off no matter what you said. Can't have half-arsed adventurers wasting Forge Master Brythel's precious time, you see? He's got a lot of irons in the fire. That's why me and the other lads make a point of keeping idlers, imbeciles, and otherwise unqualified from getting in his way. Anyway, it's time you went and paid your respects to the man. He's the one who over yonder making a face like that, like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Alright, sir. About time Randolph sent me a new recruit. It's been too long. Brythel, Forge Master of the Blacksmiths Guild. If you're aimed to become a smithy worthy of the name, it would be my great pleasure to educate you on the finer points of the craft. Oh, the rest of these sour-faced bastards will tell you it's hard, grueling work fit only for the best and brightest. But I say, put a hammer in the hands of the willing and see what happens. What do you say, lad and lass? Will you swing a hammer for old Brythel? Man, we've just met the guy and I already like him. Ha! I knew I liked you the moment. Did he snap his fingers? I knew I liked you the moment I set eyes on ye. What'd you say your name was again? Cecil Ride. Fit for a hero if I ever heard one. In fact, I reckon I did hear it in the Bard's song once. Or was it that poor sod cursing his cups, the wench? He did. But don't matter if it was saving the world or cuckolding your husband. 'Tis time to forge your new reputation, pounding a new legend. And you can trust old Brythel to help you do it. But before I go, putting the cart before the chocobo, here, lass, take this cross-peen hammer. A smithy without a hammer is like me without a drinking bloody useless. Well, don't just stand there gawping at her. Take her in your hands and have a few practice swings, whatever you fancy. She's all yours now. And what I wouldn't give to be right now. Last, a Smitty never forgets his first hammer. Okay, I need you to calm down, sir. Oh, where's the hammer? There it is. Oops. I did not want to do that. New gear set. Let me just stick that on there. Now that there is a beautiful sight. Never forget Smitty's hammer is your one true love. Friends will betray ye, lovers leave ye, but your hammer will never do you wrong till it breaks. God, seeing you stand there reminds me of a less ale-sodden, more lady-shaped version of me younger self. But onto your task. We ain't a congregation of soft-handed scholarlies here. Smitty's learned by doing. Try your hand at making that bronze ingot. Any Smitty worth her salt's got to master the fundamentals, and can't get more fundamental than that. It ain't complicated. Bronze is just copper and tin melted down and mixed together. So you'll be needing... that's it. Copper and tin ore. As seeing as most folk can't carry stuff like that around with them without reason, I'm gonna just call you Smid. Smid outside can provide you with some, for a price it is. What the lad can't sell you though is the fire shard you'll need. It ain't complicated, but that don't mean it's easy. You need to melt the metals after all, and to do that you need to get them hotter than Bombard's backside. And that's all there is to it. Think you can handle it, lass? Sure. Seems like a simple task. Probably 10 of each, because I'm probably gonna need them anyway. Alright. Now I'm gonna do this to level 5, so I will be right back. I'm level 5. Remember, here's your ingot. I could have just phased in. You're right. You're alright, lass. Better than that, sure. Even sure you ain't done this before. Cause honestly, this ain't what you'd expect from a adventurer fresh off the street. I think you might be bleeding. Might be a bleeding natural, lass. If it takes just the right balance of metals to produce bronze suitable for weapons and tools. And this ink you've made me, lass, it's on par with them as our veterans produce. You could take this down to Hawker's Alley and find a buyer in no time. By God's watching you over here, ain't no doubt about it. Now you got down at last, but don't let it go to your head. I've seen plenty of folk get drunk on early success, only to puke their guts up later because they forgot their talent's worth bugger all without hard work and dedication. So I tell you what, keep it simple for now, lass. Practice the fundamentals until you can smell bronze in your sleep. And when you've gained the kind of confidence as only comes with experience, come back and I'll teach you something new. Praise the builder, I was afraid he might have joined up with another crew. The thought of it pained me so much I was down at the wench till the morning bells I was. But here you are, still brimming with potential, and with some extra meat on your smitten arm. My eyes don't deceive me. So, something new, of course. How could I forget? So Sarai, I bid you craft the 3 bronze cross-peen hammers, just like the ones all apprentice smiths use. This dirtily bronze, maple lumber, and hempen cloth. Now I know making the bronze won't pose you no trouble, but allow me to offer you a bit of advice regarding the materials. If you want to save yourself some coin, you might consider mining your own copper and tin out in the wilds. And if that don't tickle your fancy, you might consider whacking the old coblin until it stops moving. They lug ore around with them, see, and it ain't as if swinging a sword's all that different from pounding a lump of metal into shape, is it? At the end of the day, though, how you go about getting the bits and pieces don't matter to me. I just want to see if you can make a decent hammer. Do what needs to be doing and come back when it's done. That sounds like an easy task. So, what I need again? I needed crossbeam hammer. I need bronze crossbeam hammer. What the hell is it? Did I miss it? It's amateur. What the hell is it? Aha! Okay, so... oh boy, I need the hempen cloth and maple lumber. Get this made. That was easy. Where are the hammers, Asper lass? Right here. Don't you worry. I got you. Seems like last time was no flute. This here's some impressive work, lass. Now, a layman might look at this and think he just stuck a piece of bronze on a maple stick. But you've done a damn sight more than that, whether you know it or not. A hammer's a tool, after all, and the hand's got to be grip the shaft for tens of thousands of strikes. What's more, when a smithy's pounding a red-hot piece of metal, your hammer takes up some of the heat and swells at a touch, which ain't a problem unless it's a poorly made piece of shit. Take it from me, lass. There's a few things more embarrassing than flinging a glowing hammerhead over your shoulder straight into the eye of our newest apprentice, even if he did eventually get his sight back. But I reckon your hammers won't lead to any incidents like that. In short, I'm happy with what you've done. Now, I'll spare us both the "don't rest on your laurels" speech, if it's all the same to you. Stating bleeding the obvious is what's done with the drink in your hand, I find. But well done, any road. Here, you'll be needing this. A hammer will suffice for simple smithing, but a complex jobs call for a more delicate touch, which is what file gives. He gives you. Using one alongside your hammer will make your life a good deal easier, whatever you're crafting. Try smithing something simple. I guarantee you'll see the difference. And when you've done that, do it again. I want you to practice till you can wield that file as well as your hammer. And once you've got the hang of it, come back for another task. Yep. Sweet! Alright. And with that, I will be back when we are level 50, where we can speed through all the quests. Alright, we're level 50. I got all my items I needed. Brithal. What is my task? You know what, lass? It may not be my place to say it, me being your guildmaster and all, but I like ye. I really like ye. No thanks. I'm not your type. Oh, you're not my type, I should say. Together, we can't... What? Why are you making that face at me? Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. You're the most promising people I've had in God's how long is all. I was just waxing sentimental for a moment. You can't honestly tell me you don't get a bit emotional when you've been out the night before and... forget it. Been working hard, have you? I can tell. But this is just the beginning, lass. You see, the art of blacksmithing is deeper in the deepest ocean. And if you plan on getting to the bottom of it, you'll need to... Sink? No, that's no good. Alright, how about this? If you mean to set sail for the faraway land of, Smith and Master, you mustn't try to make the journey in a dinghy. How the hell's with it? Just make me a dozen bronze rivets, lass. I don't know where you're going with that. Even with them rivets coming along. Here you go. Like, I don't know where you're going with that. Praise the builder, you've done it again. These rivets are perfect. Don't take that mean they're special, cause they ain't. You see, rivets have got to be perfect, and I'll tell you for why. You're pounding something and your hammer breaks, and you can just grab a new one. But the whole other story when your rivets fail. You ever seen an airship, lass? Marvelous things they are, but bloody complicated. Now imagine you're a dozen miles above Limsa, and your fancy flying boat starts springing the rivets. Might be as it's from the engine, might be from the hull. Don't make no difference. Whichever it is, you're royally buggered. If I was on that airship last, taking in the gorgeous view as a confounded contraption tumbled down to there below, I'd be cursing them rivets with all my heart. Aye, and the hot half-arsed bastard that shat me out too. And you wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you? Which is why you must always make quality products which stand the test of time. To help you learn the importance of quality, I want you to try smithing for paying customers. Start by having a word with Tamokiri down at the Wench. She should be able to point you in the direction of a few Linsons who is into the services of a talented lass like yourself. Hone your craft, earn some coin. Hell, have a drink while you're at it. The Wench is always serving. I'm good, thanks. No, when it comes to crafters, there's only like 3 crafters I really like. Blacksmith is definitely one of them. Ah, hell, it's not now, lass. Can't you see I'm struggling with a matter of great importance? Being a forge master ain't all drink and debauchery, especially when what? I'm just calling Hanza. I'm just calling Nan. Nan's breathing down my neck. We're a business, she says, and it's our job to ensure Naldic and Vimeli stays profitable or some such bollocks. To which I says, now look here, you greedy shrew, you're making a mint off our commission from the maelstrom, ain't we? Well, I may say it's shrew. Any road, the greedy shrew then starts yattering on about expanding to new bleeding markets. Says we should be selling more to the tree folk in Gridania. Says I should be the one to develop a plan of action. 7 to hell's ass. I'm a smithy, not a merchant. I've never even been to bleeding Gridania. And it gets worse. See, we need a man with connections, don't we? Someone that can make arrangements with the tree folk. So Nan goes and finds one. Right, clever bastard by the sound of it, and orders me to go and meet him. So I goes and meets him, and only to find it's none other than bleeding Fazir. Aye, I'd sooner bash me own teeth than to talk to that piece of... Wait a minute, I know how to deal with this. You can talk to him. You'll help old Berthal handle this Gridanian nonsense, won't ye? Of course you will. Go on then, chop chop. Really? Fine. I'll deal with your problems like I do with everybody else's. Here on Berthal's behalf, you say? I might have guessed. The whore son doesn't realize the trouble he's in. Well, it's his neck. I'll work with you, Smith, and I'll even keep my diction simple. Taking instruction from that drunkard will have dulled your wits. Now listen. Dealing with the Gridanians is no different than dealing with anyone else. Everyone has needs, it's just a matter of identifying and fulfilling them. Anyone with a half a brain, which discounts your mentor, I knows that the Forestborn do not want for wood or leather goods. You'd have more luck selling brine to a fishback. What they do lack is steel. Theirs is an insular, isolated nation that has long sought to survive without relying overmuch on foreign trade. But the calamity changed all that. Half a decade on, and with no end to the rebuilding in sight, they have been forced to open their gates to adventurers. And where there are adventurers, there's demand for weapons and armor. Quality weapons and armor, mind you. My Gridanian contacts would accept nothing less. I will need some samples to show them. Bring me bronze spatha and spiked bronze labre for this purpose. I've got them. Don't you worry. I haven't got one that's high quality for you. These will require a closer inspection. Inside, Smith. You made these weapons? I must confess the quality is quite good. I thought you'd know more than Brythel's errand girl, but it seems I was wrong. Only a true smith could have made these pieces. As I suspect you are aware, a poorly wrought weapon can cost a man his life. Be it brittle, prone to blunting, or unevenly weighted, every flaw will serve to hinder its owner on the battlefield. Not so the Spatha. Well-tempered and perfectly balanced, it is a weapon fit for a warrior. Hells, with a blade like this, even I could probably best a beast or two. As for the labre, this labre is a work of art as well. Simple, solid, and more than capable of cleaving a fish back in two. If you've been a relative newcomer to the guild can produce work of this quality, then my contacts will have not to worry about. These samples should convince them of that. It seems you saved your mentor's job. You can just leave the rest to me, Smith. There's nothing easier than selling an excellent product. Well, at least this guy is pretty easy to deal with. Alright. Well, what's next? Just the last I was hoping to see. You're a bleeding godsend, you know that? You'll be happy to hear that the tree folk were mightily impressed with them samples you made for that son of a whore. Even the shrew had to admit I'd done a good job. But who gives a damn about business, eh? You're here, Smith, am I right? So, be a good lass and whip us an iron cross-peen hammer, will ye? Oh. It's thundering. Ooh. I don't know if the mic caught that. Oh, before you run off, I should probably mention that Smeed ain't selling iron at present. Grand Company contracts to take priority. See, and the shipwrights need all the stock we can lay our hands on. So you'll have to get the iron on your own, be it by mining or buying. I'd sooner go to Hawker's Alley myself, but then it ain't my coin. And one more thing. I don't want just any cross-peen hammer, lass. I want one melted with materia. You know what materia is, don't you? This pretty much is. I don't know what materia is. You don't need to explain this to me. Alright. Here you go. Damn fine work as always, lass. She's got good heft, this one. This kind you just don't get with bronze. You tire quicker, of course, but that's a failing on the arm, not the fool. Or not the tool. The fool. And even after you work up a sweat, I reckon your cotton-wrapped grip will firmly keep her firmly in your hand where she belongs. Ah. It's common for smithies to make their own tools, you know. There's no better way of getting just what you want, see? Assuming you're half decent. I, for one, have always made my own. But who's calling me? Shit! I skipped it! I couldn't finish reading it before I got interrupted. You always should let me buy you. You should really let me buy you a drink sometime, lass. You've done a lot for me, and I don't want you to think me ungrateful. In fact, I'm wondering if we ought not to put your skills on display more prominently. Really show our potential customers that what the guild has to offer. No need to fret about that for the time being, though. You just keep hammering away, all right? Take it from me, lass. You'll do your best. You'll do your best work when your only concerns are the hammer in your hand and the vision in your head. Bright God's blessings be upon ye. Okay. Come a long way since you first joined up, lass. Some smithies might be content to eke out a living, or I guess it's seek out a living selling cheap tools and weapons, but not you. You won't be satisfied until you're the best, am I right? Aye, that's the stuff. Always seeking to better yourself, ain't ye? I respect that. If you've no motivation, it's only a matter of time before your work starts to suffer. Your customers will start looking elsewhere. Folks start whispering your best days are behind ye. Your wife runs off with a goddamn merchant. Sounds like a personal issue. And the next thing you know, you're just another poor sod drowned in the sorrows of the winch. But that won't happen to you, will it? You produced quality work back when we had to deal with them tree folk, and they now need you to do the same again. We have another big contract, you see. There's a bloke in town who's looking to buy a boatload of steel, but he won't place an order until he's sure we can deliver first-rate stuff, so we need to send him a sample of our finest work. Now, it takes a lot of skill to forge a bar of a high-quality steel, but if you start with a chunk of premium ore, you're halfway there. Saying that, it can still be a right pain in the arse. But I know you're up to the task, lass. When you've made the thing, give it to that horse-hung merchant from before. Fazar. Hi, so he can deliver it to the client. Alright. Why, don't I have a steel ingot? Oh, it's high quality! Oh, fuck. I think the steel ingot I made was not a high quality. Or no, did I not transfer it over? Oh, fuck, I didn't transfer it over. Oops. I forgot to transfer my steel ingot over. Hang on. Okay, I got my steel ingots now. Well, we meet again. Assuming you're here to deliver the steel, know this: if it's not first rate, I won't present it to the client. I don't know how I forgot to send that over the steel. Or this, yeah. Very well. Inside, Smith. Quite how you learned to smell such excellent steel, I don't know, but I do know that it had not to do with your wretched mentor's teaching. Guys, this guy's just full of criticisms. Harder than mere iron, yet not so rigid as to be unworkable. Hang on, I'm sending somebody a picture real quick. It could not have been easy to determine the exact quantity of bomb ash required to achieve such a balance. Speaking of which, just how did you acquire the ash? Don't tell me you went and slew the Void Fiends yourself. Markets are hardly a reliable source, I know, but risking death in a fiery explosion is beyond reckless. Still, if that's what it took, I admire your dedication. I suspect your Forge Master will soon be receiving some good news. I only hope he remembers to toast your name when he adjourns to this wench to celebrate. Well, let's hope. Okay. Damn. Been waiting for you to come and see me last. Seems you got yourself an admirer. And I ain't talking about me neither. I'm talking about someone else. It was only a matter of time before folks started asking questions about who was responsible for the guild's recent change in fortunes. You heard of Casa del Sol out in Bloodshore? Because that's where your new admirer lives. In case you don't know the place, it's a favorite resort of Ul'Dah's rich and famous. That's right, I'm talking about one of them. Ask for you by name, they did. Said they wish to commission the great Sasarai and no other. This could be your chance, lass. It ain't every day to get invited to curry favor with such a wealthy, bleeding client. At first I thought it was just Bride Guy who was watching over you, but I'm beginning to think that two-faced bugger Nalthal might have taken an interest in all. Anyway, you'll do it, won't ye? Of course you bloody will. You'd be a goddamn fool to refuse. You need to trouble that bastard Fazir for the details. Oh, and though it sticks me in the throat to say it, I reckon you should probably thank the Chocobo's arse while you're at it. That he's the one who made this happen. Alright, thanks buddy. Thanks for the commission help. Well met, Smith. I gather you've heard about your commission. I trust you understand what an honor this is, as well as what is at stake. The client in question is a distinguished personage with tremendously high expectations. Should you fail to live up to them, it will reflect poorly on both you and the guild. As for myself, the last thing I need is a well-connected Ul'dah telling his associates not to buy your products. Products I need hardly add. Which I should very much like to sell. Let me guess, it's what's his face? In short, don't fail. Now then, I believe I saw Miss Kuzweb to arrive a moment ago. She is our client's representative. Go inside and introduce yourself to her. She'll explain the commission. I guess it's that one rich guy who owns the whole thing, right? I've heard a great deal about you, Cecil Rai. It's not fair. I mean, any dark-skinned Elizans. As you may have heard, my master was captivated by the tales of your exceptional craftsmanship and thought you the ideal candidate to undertake a commission of a particular import to him. By way of an introduction, my master's estate boasts the most spectacular gardens in all of Costa del Sol. Its many botanical marvels owe much to the efforts of our chief groundsman, who has nurtured them since he was a lad. The dear old fellow has been with the family for generations now. My master feels it's past time that his years of faithful service could be recognized. And what better way to honor that tireless efforts of one's loyal servant than to present him with an exquisitely wrought example of the tool of his beloved trade? In short, Miss Bride, my master would like to commission the plumbed iron hatchet of the first order. Know that any less than perfection will be deemed unacceptable. We trust you will not disappoint us. I got it! My, though I count myself no expert in such matters, even I am sensible to this hatchet's quality. It is magnificent. Master Vazir's words do not do you justice. You are a veritable prodigy, madam. I kind of really like her hairstyle. What hairstyle is that? Because I really like that. Your hatchet is more of a work of art than a tool. When I run my fingers along its smooth leather grip and gaze upon its flawless, sparkling blade, I find that I am moved. It seems a great shame to allow such a masterpiece to be used from your gardening, but tools are made for a purpose. Mayhap as the blade dulls and the grip wears, it will gain a different sort of beauty. But I'm beginning to sound like our chief groundsman. Such a gentle soul. I'm quite sure that he'll see the artistry in your creation. Why, it may even serve to inspire him to his own craft. You should be proud. Hang on. On behalf of my lord, I thank you, Cecil Rai. I give my regards to Master Fazir. I really like that hairstyle. What hairstyle is that? I don't know if it's one of the Duval hairstyles. Alright, Fazir's out here. Fazar, not Fazir, Fazar. Okay. You certainly rose to the occasion. Expertly done, Smith. And it seems Miss Kuzweb has marked you out as a crafter of outstanding skill. If her master agrees with her assessment, then this may well be the first of many such commissions. You have every right to be proud. I suppose your mentor will want to know what's transpired. I swear your talents are truly wasted serving that fool. You may tell him I said so if you wish. You're a damn good smith, Smithsela. You can do better. Alright. There you are, lass. Tell us how it went then. Eh? He said that, did he? Cheeky sod, talking like he knows what it means to be a smithy. There ain't no one as knows better than me, and I've only ever wanted that what's best for ye. I still remember the day you first walked in here, you know? It was clear to me even then that you'd got a will of iron. Something in your eyes. There was something has told me you'd give your all to the craft, not for a coin or for fame, but for the sake of making something good. And that's just what we need around here. So don't let us down, Cecilla. Stick with us and we'll do right by ye. Alright. I don't have much of a choice, do I? Alright. Something evil's brewing me belly. I tell ya, I can't seem to keep getting anything down. Too many at the wench, I reckon. Couldn't have come at a worse time either, with Fazar breathing down me neck. Now, when it comes to the market, you've never met a tighter miser than old Fazar, but at the Colosseum, the man throws a gold at fires like water at a fire. They know it too, so they ask their patron for a new blade, and once they get their blade, now it's a bigger, sharper, shinier blade. Before I know it, I'm wasting me waking bells forging weapons for folk who got arms enough to wield them. Don't get me wrong, I'd gladly like to take the horseman's coin, but I ain't up to it this time on account of me condition. Which is why I need you to make whatever needs making me stead. Have a word with Fazar and see what he wants. Oh god, this guy's starting to be useless. So, Barthel sends you at me yet again. I'm flattered he holds me in such high esteem. As you may have heard, I have an eye for able warriors, yet without the proper arms and armaments, abilities for naught. Forge me one steel bouge of equal parts, splendor and might, and you and Berthal shall know the bounty of my generosity. But fail me, Cecilla, I may be forced to reconsider my arrangement with Naldic and Vimelis. There you go. Enjoy it. Coming with my gift, the next one, let's take a look. I demanded nothing short of perfection. You've exceeded my every expectation, Cecilla. A finer bouge I've never seen. A well-wrought oak haft with a solid steel blade, more than sharp enough to slice through its sinew and bone. Maybe an auroch's neck shall it cleave, but I cannot wait to see it wielded. Yes, the glory of the steel bouge you have forged for me shall be sung in the screams of all who stand before it. I see my trust in you was not misplaced, Cecilla, and I trust I shall have your need of your skills in the future. Alright. You know, Cecil, the contracts you've helped the guild secure ought to make me a fortune if we can't find it in the hands to keep it with the man, that is. Quite a name you made for yourself in the process. You've got your head in the forge, so you don't hear what I do. All over the ports, I hear the chatter of sailors and merchants extolling the fabled wares of Cecil's forge, and I assure you that they ain't alone. Hell, it's gone to the point where half of your fellow smithies are asking that ye forge their smithing tools. As if you've time to make them one by one. So I told them the most they could hope for would be one wrapped crow's beak hammer, a true example of a shining excellence to which all of its kind would be held. What say you, lass? Reckon you can do your forge mates a favor? Sure. I'll help them people out. By Brygod's beard, who'd have thought that the brutish tools of force could possess such beauty? The hammer's claw evokes the elegance and ruthless efficiency of a golden beak plucking worms from the ground. And it's flawlessly counterbalanced asymmetrically by the face. Not in me wildest dreams, forged in fantasies could I ever envision laying hands or eyes on such a perfect hammer. Hells, I reckon it's too perfect to show to that lot. To look upon the daunting heights as such peak perfection would surely discourage even the boldest of budding blacksmiths. But on the other hand, it ought to put those uppity smitties in their place. Besides, it'd be a crime to keep this hammer hidden away from the world. With any luck, it'll serve as an inspiration to your forge mates and maybe motivate one to follow in your footsteps. Let's hope. Get people in the spirit. Tis a good time to be a smithy, Cecilla. Clients are banging down our doors, clamoring for our wares, and to think it's all because one fateful day I had the foresight to let you join our ranks. Smartest thing I've ever done. In prosperous times such as these, you can't help but be in high spirits. Even your most hated enemies start to seem like decent folk. Why, just the other day I downed a few pints with old Fazar. Oh, speaking of which. Fazar was going on about this lady gladiator who would caught his eye when he liked to lavish with gifts. Said he'd a mind to have you forge the weapons. But you know him, demanded to speak to you in person. Best go and oblige the bastard. Cecilla, good of you to come. I knew no other whom I could call upon. Her name is Muriel. I'm going Muriel, like Ariel. She is both muse and genius. Portrait of grace and beauty amid the carnage of war, expertly versed in every technical discipline of combat. Muriel is more than a mere gladiator. She's an artist. If she is to paint the battlefield red, only the finest of instruments will suffice, and such instruments can only be created by the greatest of blacksmiths. Thus, I would ask of you a pair for cobalt knuckles, a buccaneer's bardage, and a cobalt shamshir, with which she might reign over the Colosseum like the goddess she is. I'll inspect your work when it's done, complete. Though I have little reason to doubt your capabilities, I will not present to Muriel anything less than perfection. Everyone wants perfection! Controller. Let's say, why can't I target him? There you go. Alright, let's go inspect my work. Be impressed. The knuckle is a sturdy and stable design for a straightforward weapon. The lack of superfluous ornamentation speaks to an emphasis on function. Next, we come to the bardage, a brutish base weapon likely born of the beast tribes. Initially, I feared its barbaric origin might sully Muriel's angelic hands, but I firmly believe there is no weapon her feminine touch cannot civilize. And lastly, the shamshir, the seductive curative. The curvature of the blade is sinister in its simplicity. You have taken notoriously obstinate kobold and bent it to your will. Again, you exceed my every expectation. I can only imagine Muriel's joy upon seeing such splendid wares. Let her gaze upon the face of the one who forged them. You will find her aboard the Asalacia. Oh, I heard about that place. I heard about that ship. Where am I going? Didn't we have to deal with that shit before? I forget what job quest I was a part of. Wasn't it part of Dark Knight? Or no? I don't know. I don't remember. I have. Let's go to the Fisherman's Guild. I feel it's closer to there. And I was right. One of the few times when you ever come to this stupid shit. Like, seriously. Alright. Hey lady, I got your weapons. Oh, so this is the gladiator, huh? Ah, yes, I guess I was promised. It's good to know that Fazar is a man of his word, though I personally prefer a woman of action. Show me what you've got. Most impressive indeed. I'm humbled. With your weapons in my grip, victory is all but assured. Bazaar certainly possesses an eye for the finer things, yet the eye that finds beauty interests me less than the hands that craft it. The strong, skilled hands of an artisan like yourself. Gladiator and Blacksmith make quite a pair, do we not? What is a weapon without a wielder? Or a wielder without a weapon? We complete each other. I came to Minster to see your wares at the old man's behest, and found everything he promised and more. Know that in the battle, as I clutch them tightly in my hands, my thoughts will be of you. Thanks. I'm not sure how to take that. I don't know if I should be worried or flattered. Can I jump down? Shortcut! Alright. Let's get back to the guild. Alright, guy, I'm ready for my final task. Good news, Cecil. The Gladiator you outfitted Muriel. Muriel? Done the work of a million merchants for a cents. Her name's on the lips of every Coliseum fan, as is the name of the smithy who would forge her armaments. Our wares are selling faster than we can forge them, and every member of the guild is reaping the benefits. Alright, the ale will flow like wine at the wench tonight. Of course, customers, they've been asking for you by name, but I tell them you ain't got the time to personally craft all their butcher's knives and bric-a-brac. What the hell is bric-a-brac? I've certainly no intention of shelling that drudgery off on ye, but there's one commission you requires your personal attention, I reckon. This one comes to us by way of Fazar, so pay the man a visit. Before I go, a word of warning. Fazar is a solemn soul to begin with, but this job's got him wound tighter than ever. Judging from his countenance. Best be prepared for a bleeding tough challenge. Okay. What's going on, buddy? There you are, and hear me, Cecil. None other than the finest blacksmith in all Vilbrand will do for this task. I think that's an exaggeration. So renowned are your weapons that your name echoes to the distant wood of Gridania. So powerful your forge that it has bent their disdain for steel into admiration. As such, a former champion of the Coliseum living amid the leaves has contacted me in hopes of engaging your services. That is all I can say. The rest she would tell you herself. The client wishes to meet with you in private and will be waiting for you on the platform just below the drowning wench. Pray do not keep her waiting. That's kind of like out of place, don't you think? Alright. Go see what the lass is up to. And who wants to meet with me. Next time I'm having better reception this time around than I did with there she is. With freaking leather worker. And actually I gotta go all around this whole platform. I can't take the shortcut down. Why would you want to meet me down here? It's like so out of place. This is like so far out of my way. On the honor of Cecil, I appreciate you coming all this way to meet with me. I am told you are a blacksmith without peer, and it is for this reason I have come to seek your assistance. The sword I would have you forge must befit a storied Coliseum champion, rather, a man who would become one once more. This gladiator has recently returned to Ul'dah and has chosen to fight under a different name, you see. Perhaps you're familiar with the Bronze Bull? I thought not. His performance on the Blood Sands has been less than stellar. Despite his wealth of experience, he struggles. I've seen him fight, as weapons are his weakness, but I fear he thinks himself at fault. Which brings me to my request. I wish to arm the Bronze Bull with a quality cobalt winglet, strengthened with the savage might material of the 3rd grade. He is far greater gladiator than his record suggests, and deserves better than the rubbish he wields. When the sword is ready delivered to Fazar, he shall have the Bronze Bull receives it. Alright. He can't. Why couldn't you just meet with me over there? Now I gotta run all the way back. Shit! Alright, Fazar, I got your sword. Why can't I target you? I'm aware of the clan specifications. As soon as I verify your sword to your satisfaction, I shall contact the intended recipient. You've outdone yourself yet again, Cecil. Your task is almost complete. In a most particular request, the client wishes to be on hand, yet out of sight, for the purveyance of her gift. I shall attend to the arrangements. You need only be ready. Why? Since when have you taken a fancy to a male gladiator, Fazar? What's all this really about? I assure you, you'll not be displeased. Quite the opposite, I should hope. Pleased, then? Precisely, we come bearing a gift. A gift? For me? Ha! Give it to someone who deserves it. I'm in no mood to be fawned over. Due to your mounting defeats, no doubt. I know my record, merchant. Ah, but that is the very reason I believe this gift will lift your spirits. Behold the cure of your recent woes. A sword like no other. This blade, I've never seen its equal. Did you forge this, Smith? There's a clear difference in quality. I'll be proud to call it my own. I believe that is precisely what our matron intended. Our patron. Care to tell me who your patron is, and why he sees fit to confer upon me such a treasure? I can only say that she prays for your success. It is her hope that with this sword you'll win new glory, and that these words will help you to remember that of old. The way of the sword is such that all who walk it become lost. Her words, eh? Well, I don't see why she had to orchestrate this mummer's farce. I would have gladly accepted the sword from her in person. Oh? Aye, I thought the Calamity had claimed her life. Oh, there's a history between these two. I should have known better than to think the Hellfire Phoenix would die so easily. That got sliced in half. And now it's my turn to take wing. On my honor, I shall one day stand atop the Colosseum and do the sword justice. A happy ending! Grandfar is no fool. I suspect he knew I was present the moment his words left Fazar's lips. Why not give him the sword in person? It is complicated. Simply put, I will not involve myself directly in Colosseum affairs. Long ago, I swore never again to take up a sword or spear for sport. I have entrusted the Forge Master with your honor, with your honorarium. Please accept it with my heartfelt thanks. All right. Well, look who's back from bringing in another fortune. I don't know how you did it, Cecil, but I'm glad you're doing it for us. If you hadn't come along when you did and helped us turn things around with your quality smithing, I reckon I'd be another workless drunk drowning me sorrows with a wench. Instead, I'm happily employed drunk celebrating me successes at the wench. You know, any lout with a tool can put passion to her work, but to have it come to it out the other side and affect folk is true artistry. And make no mistake, lass, the impact of what you've done for the guild will be felt for years to come. You're one of the best goddamn smithies that I've had the pleasure to know, and Cecila. There ain't nothing more to say than that. So thanks for the praises. All right. And that is the end of the level 10 through 50 job quest for Blacksmith. So, we're moving along. We got 4 more chapters to go. So, I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next part. Later.